And I think that black men in general, now in these days and times, are attempting to step back into their masculinity and their manhood. But what's happening is that there's a conflict because black women have been doing this for so long. They're like, you're doing what now?
Yeah.
Like what? And a lot of black men are like, no, seriously, we got this now. Like, we know we've been sleeping for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know we clocked out, but we're clocking back in now and we're saying, actually, no, we see it. And it's like, no, because there's no trust there.
I think feminism is not for the black women and actually hasn't helped the black community in the modern day. However, being strong and independent, there is an argument, which I think is valid, that a lot of black women have had to be that in the West.
100%.
So it's kind of like they've had to do that, especially because in terms of the pecking order, especially when it comes to maybe beauty standards, desirability.
You guys are not even wearing wigs that resemble 4C kinky hair. A lot of you are wearing wigs that look nothing like your hair. This is a problem. You guys are creating delusions in your head. You're wearing wig every day. If you're black and you're wearing a bright blonde, platinum, straight, bust down wig every day, you take it off. Are you telling me you're not going to look in the mirror and think, this is my image now. This is my image. This is a problem. This is a problem. What the fuck are you doing? That if you change your look every single day and you look in the mirror, you will now adapt and you'll think that this is your image. This is your true form. So now, when you remove all of that, you're going to be insecure. Simple.
A lot of black women do feel they're at the bottom, so they have to work harder in many different areas, right? So it's almost like for them, it's like, okay, well, I've had to become strong and independent so I can not only just to get somewhere, but to actually survive. But then being that way is actually stopping a lot of them from building with a black man. So it's kind of a bit like a catch-22 because they've kind of feel like they've been forced to be this way. Yeah, it's not helping them.
Now, I do believe myself that we really need to focus on the women in order to shake things back up and get us, back on track. And I believe this book is going to shed some light on showing that, and hopefully as a collective we can start working together to fix the problem, because right now everyone just pointing the blame at the other.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. And we can look at the black experience in the West, and black men have been and were and still are emasculated to some degree.
Yes. And
so that role has been kind of taken on by the woman.
Very much so. And would you even say in the black community in the West that it's a matriarchy, not a patriarchy?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's very matriarchal, and I think that black men in general now in these days and times are attempting to step back into their masculinity and their manhood. But what's happening is that there's a conflict because black women have been doing this for so long. They're like, you're doing what now?
Yeah.
Like what? And a lot of black men are like, no, seriously, we got this now. Like, we know we've been sleeping for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know we clocked out, but we're clocking back in now and we're saying, actually, no, we see it. And it's like, no, because there's no trust there.
Okay, so the book I wanted to share with you guys is this book titled The Willie Lynch Letter, The Making of a Slave. Now, this is the book I have, right? It was the interest and business of slaveholders to study human nature and the slave nature in particular with a view to practical results. First of all, we need a black nigger man, a pregnant nigger woman, and her baby nigger boy. Second, we will use the same basic principle that we use in breaking a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. We have reversed the relationship. In her natural uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male, and she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring and would raise male offsprings to be dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the others to the point of death, all in her presence. All in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. To a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
Because the trust went when a lot of the times the women had to take over.
Yes.
And they're like, can I really trust you to lead this where it needs to be led?
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
We're literally just having this conversation about the trust and respect, I think, from black women to black men is not as apparent as it used to be. And I think there's some validation in that, but then I think what do you say to the black woman who says that, well, I'm only going to trust and respect the black man who proves himself first?
See, I understand the reasoning.
Yeah.
But I think black women are the only women to kind of say that. Other women don't say, oh, I don't trust you to lead, or I don't trust you to be as feminine as I could because blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, Chinese women give it to their men. Arab women give it to their men.
Yeah.
Every other nation give it to their men. They say, okay, cool, lead. But like I said, I think because of the historical context of the black experience, I can see why women are slow to relinquish their quote unquote power to the black man. I think, and I think that black men have been, what's the word I'm looking for? They have been slow to let the black woman know that it's all right. I think what's happened is it's come in a wave. It wasn't gradual. It doesn't seem gradual. It seems like in the past 4 or 5 years, black men have been on like, yeah, fuck it, let's do this shit now. Right. And women are like, whoa, where did that come from? Like,
that was
no gradual, like, you know,
you just showed up out of nowhere.
Just showed up out of nowhere, like, fuck it, we got this. It's like, they're like, no, where did that come from? So I get the conflict now. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, for black men, there are a lot of black men out there now that are successful. Yeah. They want a black woman. But then what's happened because of the feminist movement is that the caliber of black women seems to have declined.
What do you mean?
Meaning, what black women see as a woman, motherhood, what it is to be a partner, I think has declined. I think the hot girl summer season has lasted more than just a summer. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just life now. Yes. And there's a lot of, I think black men are more traditional than black women are, generally in the Western world. I think the women are more quote unquote modern, whereas the men, there's a huge swathe of men just saying, you know what, I just want to be a little bit more traditional. I want to be able to just have my wife and my child. And but then what's happened, I think because of the feminist movement, a lot of men have been burnt by the modern woman while being traditional.
Have you had experience yourself?
I've had my experience myself.
Okay, so tell us one thing about that. So what do you mean?
Breadwinner, family man, pays for everything, patriarch, in all senses of the word within the home. Yes. But the woman in the home, because of society's view of what women should be like, you can't be a housewife. What do you mean you're just a housewife? What do you mean you're just a woman at home? Like, what are you talking about? You need to go out and get your own, like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's like, well, a man can't tell you what to do. Well, if he's your man, he can. Yeah. Like, if he doesn't want you constantly going out on a Saturday night with your girlfriends, he can tell you that's not what I want you to do.
So, because I hear that, but then there'll be someone who'll be like, why do you feel you have the right to tell me what I can and can't do?
Because when two people,
Because can she tell him, nah, you're not allowed to go out?
yeah, she can. She can voice her opinion, just like the man can voice his opinion.
Yeah.
But it seems like, I don't know, this modern day attitude is like, no man can't tell me shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no man can't tell me shit. And it's like, well, that's not going to work, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We got to come to some kind of agreement. And if I am the one that is providing and protecting and doing all of that, then I have a say. Like, you don't just I don't become traditional and you're not.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to be traditional too.
Yeah.
So
do you think that a lot of modern women secretly want the traditional aspects?
Do you know what
Or
I think
do you
is
think they want
changing?
something?
I think they say they want it, but they don't act like they do.
I agree.
I think they say they want a traditional man, but they don't know what it takes to have one.
What
And then
do you think it
when
takes
you
to have
give
one?
them one, it's like, oh shit, I don't know what to do with this.
So as a man, what would, if you were going to get involved and consider a woman long term, what would be like, let's say 4 things that you would look for it to work?
4 things I'd look for it to work is someone who is cooperative.
Yeah.
Someone who I know is going to be a good mother. Someone who I know, someone who, cooperative, good mother, not too much attitude.
Yeah. Let's try, I agree. Let's try, instead of saying not too much attitude, what's the positive side of that?
To be more open and friendly.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Warm.
Warm.
Kind. Yeah, I hear that.
Understanding.
Yes.
Willing to be led.
Yes.
Willing to be led.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
So, yeah, that's the type of woman that when I look for a partner, that's what I'm looking for.